My name is Chris Frew. I am the CEO of BioBuzz, and welcome to our event today. I would love to have you here today. We're here with Emergent BioSolutions, one of the pillar biotech companies in our region, in the Maryland region, to talk to you about hiring for quality. We're excited to host this event, and just want to do a couple quick housekeeping items. Number one, as a attendee, you're not going to have a chance to talk, but please use the chat features and the Q&A. Secondly, you're going to all receive a recording of the event as well. So keep an eye on your inbox for that, as well as a few post-event questions that we'd love to get your feedback from. So without further ado, I'd like to pass the mic over to Elizabeth McLett, Director of HR.
Great, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Really welcome to our second virtual event here. We're doing this with quality. Emergent is rapidly growing, and we have so many dynamic roles in quality. You certainly saw that we do have some that we've already advertised and mentioned out there. I would highly encourage everyone on the call with us today, please go out to our website and see other roles that we have, because in our rapid expansion, there are so many places that you can make a difference. So thank you for your time. We're going to have a number of leaders talk to you today from around the business and really talk to you and give you insight about what is it like to work for Emergent. I know I joined the company a year ago. Best decision truly of my life, not just my HR pitch to you to come, please join us. We really have so many things that we do relative to protecting and enhancing life. And as employees, there's such encouragement to get involved in our communities. And it's something that I know I'm truly passionate about, and I'm really excited to see how that could be a great fit for you as well. Before I turn it over to everybody, I would encourage you as we go through, please use the Q&A feature so members of our team here can answer any questions that you have as we're going along, or direct you to the right person. Additionally, I'd like to just take a moment, if we can, just go through and have each of our panelists introduce themselves so that you know who we are before we come on and speak. Possibly I'll kick it first to Jen Grubb.
Hi, I'm Jen Grubb. I'm the HR site lead for our Bayview location. And I'm going to toss it over to BJ.
Hi, everybody. I am BJ Hull. I'm the Vice President General Manager for our Maryland sites. Welcome. And I'll turn it over to Tommy.
Hello, everybody. My name is Thomas Voigt, and everybody calls me Tommy. I'm the Director of Laboratory Services here at the Camden site, and I'm going to turn it over to Michelle.
Hi, everyone. This is Michelle. I'm the Director of Quality at the Bayview site, and I'm going to turn it over to Joe.
Hi, folks. I'm Joe Regalis. I'm the Site Quality Head at the Bayview site outside of Baltimore. And I'll turn it over to Vera.
Hi, everyone. I'm Vera Biles. I am one of the talent partners here at Emergent, probably the newest member of the team here. I've been with the organization for almost 2 months. I'm so excited that you're joining us today, and I look forward to receiving your applications and working with you through the process. And I'll turn it over to Linda.
Last but not least, right, hopefully, welcome everyone. Linda Gillen, I'm the Director of Talent Acquisition. I lead the team and the function here. Really excited about this second event we're doing with BioBuzz with a lot more to come. So I hope you have some good takeaways from our presentations today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Linda. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to talk now with BJ Hull, who's our VP and General Manager. BJ, go ahead and take things away for us.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Hopefully everyone will be able to see my presentation here as I get it going. Okay, one second. Okay, there we go. Okay, everybody, again, welcome to the event today. Again, BJ Hull, I'm the Vice President General Manager of the Maryland sites. Those sites are made up of our 2 sites in Baltimore. The first site we call Bayview, and we do drug substance manufacturing there. Our other site is in what we call Camden, which is right close to Camden Yards and MS&T Stadium. And we do fill finish operations there. And then in Rockville, Maryland, where we do viral fill finish operations. Now, my job today is to just give you an introduction to the company, talk a little bit about Emergent and what makes us a tremendous growing organization. And really, it begins with our promise. And that promise is that Emergent delivers peace of mind in an uncertain world. Now, that has taken on a whole new meaning today with a lot of the COVID activities and the challenges the country and the world is facing today. Emergent has really stepped up our role in this, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But we're very passionate about this, and this promise that we have to everybody is something that has really led to the growth of everything we do today. Now, our vision is to protect 1 billion lives, protect or enhance by 2030. And it's a very novel goal that the organization has to protect 1 billion lives, but we think it is definitely something that we can do. We're driven to it, and everything that we do as an organization is based on that ability to protect and enhance lives. So who are we today? So if you look at Emergent today, and this is a growing number, it's just a snapshot, but we're constantly growing. Currently over 1,800 employees that we have. We have 10 marketed products, and something just went wrong. There we go. We have 10 marketed products that we have around the world today. We have a market cap of $3.1 billion, a total revenue of $1.1 billion, with 19 global locations, and we have a real significant pipeline of 15 products. And as part of what we're talking about today is our molecule to market CDMO service that we're offering as well. So if you look at Emergent from a high level, we're divided into 4 different business units. We have our vaccines business unit, our therapeutics business unit. We also have devices that we manufacture, and then our CDMO group. We have focused leadership teams on each one of these BUs, and they develop and tailor their own strategies and plans and their revenue generating products and services. Each of them have distinct core competencies, and really we're all working to really create streamlined operations within our business units. Okay, so our marketed and specially procured products that we have, again, if we look at the different groups, the vaccines and the therapeutics and the devices, we have our anthrax portfolio. And you can see the products that we're currently producing there. BioThrax is really the product that initiated this organization, and we have grown into the company that we are today. We have a smallpox franchise. The ACAM 2000 is the product that is made up in our Canton, Massachusetts facility, and the fill finish is done in our Rockville facility here in Maryland. Our Traveler Health group, a recent acquisition of the company, Vaxchora is a product, and these are products that we make for people that are traveling around the world, again, to protect themselves. We have our opiate franchise, and that really has Narcan in it. It's a naloxone nasal spray, and this is the product that people use when they OD on opiates. A very life-saving product, and we're very excited to have that available for people. And finally, we have a chemical group, and we have an RSDL, which is a skin decontamination lotion kit, and our Trobigard product is a device that is used in the field as an auto-injector. And finally, our botulism product that is made at our Winnipeg facility up in Canada. So if you look at the groups that we're looking at, again, we're looking for public health threats. And you can see the different areas that we focus on, but again, looking to protect and enhance lives. And at this point, we see this as over a $30 billion market opportunity for us. So for a moment, let's get focused in on our CDMO service, which is really the focus of our Maryland facilities, our molecule to market CDMO offering. So we have development services at our Gaithersburg facility in Maryland. We have drug substance manufacturing at our Bayview facility that we talked about. And finally, drug product and packaging at our Camden and Rockville facilities. So it's a foundational market approach. We have great science and technology that lead us to be a leader in this industry. Our speed and flexibility to market is something all of our clients talk about that makes us stand out in this area. And again, we have 9 global development and manufacturing sites around the globe. Our Bayview facility was heavily invested in by the government as a center of innovation and advanced development and manufacturing, as a site that could respond to pandemic. Since that time, our Rockville and Camden facilities have also joined the CIADM network. So again, if you just look at all the sites that we have and the capability that these sites have, you can see them, and they span the globe, from Winnipeg, Manitoba to Bern, Switzerland, and a number of facilities in the US. So the ones we're focusing on, again, are the 2 Baltimore facilities that you can see as part of the CIADM and drug substance and fill finish, as well as our Rockville, Maryland facility. So, one of the things you may have heard about us recently is obviously our impact that we're having on the COVID-19 pandemic. And we're really attacking this on a number of fronts. If you look at our therapeutics group, they currently have 2 candidates, hyperimmune candidates that they're working on with plasma that will be able to potentially treat people with COVID. Our development group is working with a number of clients, and you can see those down there, AstraZeneca, Vaxart, and Novavax. They're helping these companies refine and develop their candidates for the vaccine. And then finally, our manufacturing facilities, both drug substance and drug product, are very involved with manufacturing of these drugs. So we've currently signed up with Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, Vaxart, and Novavax to produce COVID vaccines for them. So this is a really exciting time to be part of the manufacturing team. We're very passionate about what we're doing. We're very involved and engaged with the Operation Warp Speed team at the government that is working to try to create a vaccine as quickly as possible. And we're working diligently right now to try to create and have these vaccines available to the public as soon as possible. So, if you're passionate about protecting and enhancing lives, this would be a great company for you to come to work for right now. It's an exciting time in our growth. We have opportunities at all of our Maryland facilities. So again, welcome to the event, and I'll turn it over to Joe.
Thank you, BJ. I have one slide that kind of says it all, and if you wouldn't mind putting that up. The next slide, please. So I'm the quality site head. The question, the really big issue or a big statement is why we do it, right? And none better, as BJ mentioned, these unprecedented times than now to really focus in on really what's in front of us with regards to the COVID pandemic going on now. And the quality groups that, obviously, in my mind, you can have all the bricks and structure and strategy, everything you ever needed with regards to business. But at the end of the day, it's about the patient who's receiving this, who's understanding that they're getting in this case a vaccine that's going to prevent them from getting a disease. The ethical responsibility in that to make sure that that product is safe and efficacious, as well as the regulatory responsibility to make sure that it meets all the GMP or FDA or whatever other regulatory agency requirements is unthinkable with regards to just the sheer responsibility we cover with that. The world's a little different right now, and one of the interesting things, as BJ mentioned, is that the Bayview site is uniquely designed and operated as a facility that is built for pandemics. This is again built on the tails of some BARDA and others to ensure that we have manufacturing space for just these types of events that occur. Unfortunately, it's in our lifetime, but they're going to occur, and we can only probably see more of this coming down the road. We have an opportunity here with respect to be able to show the world really that what we can do with regards to our clients that we brought in to manufacture their vaccines. The quality group over at Bayview consists really of the quality assurance group, the quality control group, as well as the validation group at the site. The quality assurance group is really there to develop and put into place systems and controls to ensure that we manufacture and test these products in a way that's that we have control over those the way they're manufactured and they're reproducible. The other part of this, and probably the heart and soul of it, is the quality assurance group is responsible for ensuring that we coach and teach and instill the DNA of quality as a first intent when I'm thinking about something within all the other manufacturing or operations functions. So it's imperative that this role is again working closely with the other groups, not only from a compliance perspective, but also from a quality perspective. The QC group, who Michelle will talk about in a couple minutes, really they're there to test that product. They put value onto that drug substance. So we may have a bag of vaccine that really has no value until we test it and give it its really what its value is and the test results and it meeting specifications. And finally, the validation groups focused in on ensuring that all of our equipment and facilities and utilities have been validated, they're repeatable, and they're meeting this quality standards expected for those to be able to manufacture drug, in this case, drug substance. We have so again, our responsibility is ensure that safety and efficacy of the products, and in particular with the ones we're making today, which are in the vaccines areas, which if you think about it, it's very clear that the bar for vaccines is a lot higher than for, let's say, a therapeutic, in the sense that we're giving this vaccine to a healthy individual. And the last thing we'd want to do is put something in there that would harm them, as opposed to a therapeutic where you may have you may get an aspirin to take away a headache versus, again, that's someone who has disease versus someone who's a healthy individual. So the stakes here are very high, and the importance of following directions, right first time execution of what we do, flawless execution is imperative to us being successful in manufacturing and delivering these vaccines to the world. We have there may be a number of different there on the website there. I'm sure there's a number of different requisitions out there or job openings. I would add all in the validation, in the from a validation engineer perspective to QC analysts and supervisors, as well as in the QA area, specialists and analysts. So those are obviously very important. If you have, I would impose that if you have. If none of those fit your role, still apply for one of them if you feel that you could add value to the organization. We will be adding additional openings near the end of the year. So it's again, we were looking right now for people who seek that challenge, as BJ mentioned, who have that mindset of being able to understanding the relevance and the importance of what the quality organization does. and is, therefore, for also to reap in its rewards with regards to building a strong team and a strong group over at the Bayview facility. With that said, I can turn that over to Michelle.
Great. Awesome. All right, guys. So this slide is a quick view of the quality control at Bayview. Let you know how we operate. We're actually divided into 7 teams within that group. We have a sample management team. We have a biochem team. We have a micro team, a stability team, raw material team, and then we have a LIMS team. There's some quick descriptions on what each of those do. Some beautiful pictures on the side just to show you some of the methods that we are actually doing at this site. I'm going to move to the next slide, which actually goes over our testing capabilities. So within the QC Bayview group, we have chromatography methods, which involve methods such as SEC, IEC, some CE-LIF methods as you can go through. We have gel-based methods where we're using gels such as Page, Western blots. There's a general, what we call general methods, which are your kind of your basic chemistry or wet chemistry methods. Appearance, like appearance and turbidity, pH, concentration. There's also a cell-based and plate-based methods, which include growth of cells, bioassays, ELISAs, do potency methods. There's some qPCR methods that we do as well. And we test some residuals such as host cell protein and host cell DNA. There's also a micro group, and we have micro methods within that group. We're doing environmental monitoring, utility monitoring, as well as micro testing such as bioburden endotoxin and microbial ID. So within the Bayview, there's some quality programs that we have. So sample management program is actually the group that receives all samples that come through the site for testing. They also ship samples that go outside for testing. They do both release and in-process testing of drug substance and drug product samples and stability samples. There's also sample alloquality that occurs in that group, as well as reagent management, managing an inventory of samples, critical reagents, as well as reference standard. We have a stability program, and within that program, we actually design the stability studies for each of our projects and the protocol. And currently we have protocols or studies for cell bank, drug substance, drug product, as well as reference standards. And this group also, this program actually supports product expiry. And then there's a raw material program. It's basically a release program where we participate in the release, sampling, and testing of all raw materials used for our products, and the specifications to allow for release of those materials. And then my last and final slide is just a picture of the team, just to kind of give you a quick overview of some of the members. We are very excited about the opportunities we have right now with the COVID projects. The team is actually having the opportunity to participate in transfer of new methods. So they're participating in method validation as well as testing. And we are very close-knit in this group. So, we work well together and welcome anyone to apply for any of the openings. We currently have openings in all of the areas I mentioned earlier. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Tommy, who is my counterpart over at the Camden site.
Thank you very much, Michelle. I appreciate it, and welcome to everyone. This is my very first virtual recruiting event, so this is pretty exciting, and I welcome you all here. Let me go ahead and thank you, Michelle, for pulling up those slides. Let me see something fast. Perfect. So I'm the Director of Laboratory Services here at the Camden site. Just to give you a little background on myself, I actually started in the laboratory back in 2006 at this site. I was a microbiologist then, and I was able to work my way up to a director. It was a really great experience. I also really enjoy working for Emergent, the opportunities that they have provided us, just the best working conditions. And again, I think what BJ totally hit on, saying that at the end of the day, knowing that we're making medication that was going to help people around the world is just, it's such a great feeling to know that at the end of the day. So to give you a first overview, so here is the microbiology laboratory here at Camden. And the first slide here, we have one of the microbiologists. Her name is Abigail Morella. She is one of our microbiologists too. She, right there, is performing some testing inside the biosafety cabinet. So microbiology basically does some method qualification. So say, for example, we do have a client that has their own endotoxin or their own sterility method. We can then bring that method into our facility as well, so we can mimic that study. Endotoxin testing is heavily performed in the microgroup. Again, endotoxin is your gram-negative organisms that would lyse and die, and they release a toxin that could potentially make somebody very ill. So that's something that we want to monitor before the drug product goes out onto the market. Obviously, sterility testing is a huge thing. You want to make sure that the product is actually sterile before it goes out into the market, so it's free of any microorganisms. We do raw material and component testing. So even down to the vial stoppers and seals that are put on each individual vial, they are all tested. We test them for, if they come in sterile, we'll test them for sterility or endotoxin. And the analytical services group will go ahead and they'll do dimensional testing, obviously to make sure that those dimensions meet the requirements of our filling machine and our capping machines, to make sure that they're able to be crimped and sealed properly, because obviously you wouldn't want any vials or syringes that aren't actually officially closed, because that could potentially cause some contamination issues. We do also what's called disinfectant efficacy studies. So basically what we do is like, your household bleach, we would make dilutions with that, and we test them against different microorganisms to basically be able to show that you are getting the type of kill that is the label claim of that disinfectant, just to make sure that obviously when we clean our facility, we're able to reduce any of the bioburden levels in those areas. We also do what's called environmental monitoring. So environmental monitoring is basically leaving out any kind of auger plates to be exposed to the environment. They would basically be able to tell if the cleanliness of the area, whether or not that's by particulates. So anything, it's like almost like a machine that would suck air through, and it's basically testing all the particles that are in that area at that time. We also have what's called an active air sampler. And basically it's a mobile unit that pulls air over the auger plate to go and capture any microorganisms that are caught into the air that would be sucked down into that auger and then would grow over time when it was in the incubator. Those types of things are basically how we were able to level the cleanliness of our facility and make sure that we're meeting within our specifications. Water sampling. So water sampling and testing is huge, right? You want to make sure that the water that you're using to formulate with your products, or that you're using for the autoclave or for any other testing as well, you want to be able to make sure that that meets the requirements. You don't want to be using water that's contaminated, because that could potentially lead to issues as well. And compressed air and nitrogen testing. So the filler runs on compressed air, and also what they do is called a nitrogen overlay. So some products are sensitive to oxygen. So basically a nitrogen overlay would be overlaid on top of the filled vial. So it would basically reduce any oxygen getting into the vial at all. And that's tested too, since it's right in direct product contact. So again, making sure that there is any kind of contamination that can get into the final product units. We also do what's called the aseptic gown qualification training. So before any individual is allowed to go into the aseptic area, and when I say the aseptic area, that's where you're fully gowned head to toe inside our filling suites. Obviously no skin exposed, so that there's no contaminants that can get into any product units or just contaminate the room itself. We do what's called gowning qualification, where you would have to gown 3 times, and one of the microbiologists then would take monitoring plates and they would touch your gown in certain areas to then ensure that you have a good aseptic technique when you're gowning, putting on your gowning materials to go into the ISO or grade A or ISO 5 area, which is our clean room areas. Oven and autoclave validation support. So basically you want to be able to show with your ovens and your autoclave. So an oven is a depyrogenation oven. So basically that would remove any endotoxins from any stainless steel items or glass, like the vials would go through a depyrogenation oven. And basically the microbiology group would then use spike studies where we would spike a certain concentration of endotoxin into vials. And we would put them alongside with the regular vials to make sure that then you're getting the kill, that if there was anything that it was in any vial that was going through the oven, it would be shown that it would be killed. So those studies, again, we want to prove, again, always cleanliness, always being able to show that you can reduce bioburden. And last but not least for the microbiology group is the media fill inspection and reads. So basically what happens is every 6 months, we go through what's called shutdown. And before we go into the shutdown period, we do what's called a media fill. Basically what happens is we fill a lot of vials or syringes with a general use medium, which is like tryptic soy broth. And basically that's like a general type medium that would grow any basic microbiology or microorganisms that'd be present in the air or in the environment that would grow. So you want to be able to show that, because you can't show that through a whole actual filling lot, because when we do sterility testing, we only test a certain number of units of that lot. So basically this test shows the whole entire duration. And we fill about close to 11 to 12,000 units per media fill. And then the microbiology group then would go and inspect every single unit for growth and to make sure that obviously our processes are clean and we were not introducing any kind of bioburden. The next would be our analytical chemistry group. So basically they would do a lot of in-process testing for their processes. It's huge. So basically if there's a formulation going on in the process that requires a hold sample, so say for example, you're in a formulation and the formulation requires a step for you to find out what's the pH of the sample before proceeding to the next step. A sample then would be pulled and sent to the analytical chemistry department, where they would then do that pH test and then give the okay to the formulation group to go ahead and proceed with the next step in formulation. There's a lot of testing that happens in those steps because we also want to make sure that we are formulating properly, that everything is okay, to go into then the filling steps. Also, our analytical chemistry group does a lot of wet chemistry and for testing of raw materials. So every single excipient, every single little thing that goes into our formulation is tested here on site by our microbiology and our chemistry group. A lot more chemistry is involved, testing is involved with those. So basically anything from, your sodium chloride all the way up to dipotassium phosphate, just to name just 2 of the items that we test. And some of them may have 30 tests that are listed on the specification that the analytical chemistry group will have to do. So again, some of the testing that's done is HPLC, which is a high performance liquid chromatography test. Basically, it's using to separate and identify and quantify each component that's within the sample. Also, we do gas chromatography, a UV test, which is basically an ultraviolet test of the light going through your sample to kind of test for like sample turbidity. We also do what's called TOC testing, which is going to be any kind of carbon or any kind of residue that can be caught into, like, say, for example, our pumps or our lyophilizers. We basically go ahead and we swab them to make sure, and we test them to make sure there's no residual product that's left over from the fill before, so that we can be able to then proceed and use those pieces of equipment again. We also do some biochemistry testing as well. So your ELISA, your SDS pages, those are not too much in our group for drug product, but there are some clients that require some of those tests. We also work very, very closely with our manufacturing science and technology group, what's called the TTA group, which is our tech transfer analytical group, which would bring in these methods and these types of products that would be used for, they would basically do the qualification testing, and then the analytical chemistry group then would go ahead and do the routine testing. So it's kind of like a method transfer to bring in those types of testing in those products. So that's pretty much it for the Camden QC groups. Again, we have a bunch of positions that are posted online right now that you're able to apply for, both in the analytical chemistry group as well as in the microbiology group. So please go ahead, go online and apply, because we are looking for some new talent. We have a great group here at Camden, and we're just looking forward to bringing in some new fresh faces and new people who can help us take us to the next level. So thank you very much. That's it for me.
Great, thank you, Tommy, for giving us that extra thing to do there with Camden. Also, Joe and BJ and Michelle. It's really been a great time for each of us to find out what the roles are. We're getting a lot of great questions through our Q&A. And I know some questions are getting pitched over as well from our chat feature. So please, we encourage you to keep doing this. If for some reason we can't answer something here live in the group, we want to make sure that we can get information to each of you. I may want to go ahead and just have us open things up a little bit. If you give me just a moment, I'm going to switch over to our Q&A feature. I will give this one actually to our team over there based in Bayview. There's a question about the QC microbiology positions on the fill line, and where would you rank that as far as entry-level position, or what might be available in the entry-level position for that group that we have currently?
So this is Michelle at Bayview. Actually, the fill line is something that would occur over at the Camden site. I will let Tommy answer that. Most of the positions, the micro positions at the Bayview site are actually because the Bayview site is actually a drug substance manufacturer, so we're not really filling. So it's actually more hands-on in the facility, monitoring the environment, testing the samples for product and in the water systems, utility systems. Tommy, you want to answer that?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Michelle. So basically, yeah, there are some entry-level positions. So an analyst 1 is basically our entry-level position here. So anybody is willing to apply there. If you do see, there are some analyst 2 positions as well, which that's somebody who kind of has a couple years of experience. I like to say 3 to 5 years of experience that we would be looking for as well. So those are generally what we're looking for in the microbiology group here at Camden.
Thank you. Linda, it looks like there's a couple questions in here for you that maybe I can toss it over to you and you can try and help the team with.
Sure, I'd like to try.
Let's see.
See one in particular? I know we were trying to answer as we were going along, so.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you again, everybody. We've had a really rich amount come through here. So it's like we've answered 17 so far. So I'm trying to do very well with that.
We can talk about some next steps too, Elizabeth, if that's helpful.
Certainly, yeah. If we could talk about that, maybe you and your team, as to where do we go from here? What does that look like?
Yeah, so thanks again, everyone, for joining. I truly hope you took a few things away from the presentations. Thanks to all of our presenters. As always, very informative. And BJ, I'm going to toss to you when I'm done too, just to see if you have any last minute thoughts. But I would say we have a lot of opportunity at Emergent right now. It's a great time to join. Please check out our careers site, navigate through that. Let us know if you have additional questions. Vera Biles and myself, obviously part of the talent acquisition team, and Elizabeth and Jen on the HR team. Connect with any of us on LinkedIn. Apply to our jobs online. We're going to make a point of getting a list of everybody who's joined today and making sure we're doing some follow-ups in partnership with our BioBuzz team as well. You will be hearing from someone, right, as a follow-up to understand your backgrounds a little bit better and make sure we're talking with you more about your background and experience. So we want to make sure to capture that and hopefully have you on future events as well. But any specific questions, Elizabeth, that you saw that weren't answered?
No, I think you really were covering them. Some of the
Okay.
ones we're getting are a little bit more individual.
Yep.
We'll address those to those individuals in particular. But
Yes.
everybody who's got these just coming in very quickly. That's
Good questions around tuition reimbursement and
Mhm.
sponsorship questions and things like that, that we can certainly work with everyone on an individual basis too, to understand your situation. And also, you know, again, just targeting the potential right role for you here at Emergent. So thank you for the questions again. BJ, Joe, anyone have any final thoughts, or BioBuzz team?
Yeah, let me just make a couple comments. And first of all, let me thank everybody for joining us today. This, as I said, is a really exciting time for Emergent. And Emergent is a company that really is focused on doing the right thing and protecting and enhancing lives. And by saying that, it is a big focus of the leadership company of this organization that we make sure we have people that are engaged and we have the right culture in place for people to succeed. We spend so much of our time talking about that. It truly is a great place to work. I hope you'll consider coming here. We have opportunities at all of our sites, and they range from entry level all the way to experienced. So we're a growing organization, and it's an exciting time. And if you're passionate about what you do in the life science industry, then we're a great place to be. So again, thank you for joining us.
Fantastic. Hey, I had another quick question, Linda, or maybe Vera, just to help frame out for everybody's listening. You know, maybe you could talk just a high level on what's the overall interview process like, and application process like, especially now during, you know, the COVID time that we're experiencing in, and you know, overall timeline it you know, that typically takes.
Yeah, Vera, I can start, and then you can certainly chime in. You know, we've gone virtual, obviously, since March, like most companies, and so we are we've also staffed up our team a bit. So we try to be as diligent as we can about reviewing resumes, responding to people in a timely manner, and as BJ and others have expressed, our needs are real time, and we're really ramping up to be able to support these efforts. And so my team is working hard every day to make sure we're following up and screening as many candidates as we can. And by doing the virtual panel process, we can typically get those done in 1 or 2 sessions, right? And have you talk to a set of folks across the business that are applicable to the roles to ensure you're getting a good understanding. We know you have a choice as well, right? And so we want to make sure you fully understand the roles and the culture and everything that we're doing here, so that it's a good fit for you. So I'd say our turnaround time has been even more fluid in these virtual times. So we are trying to get people through the process, but also give you a great understanding of who we are so you can make an informed decision. Vera, anything you would add to that?
No, I think you've summed it up pretty well. You know, we certainly interview candidates who are located across the U.S. I think there was a question that came in regarding, you know, sponsorship, and that's something that our HR team would, you know, look at on a case-by-case basis. But the process goes really smoothly, you know, as Linda said, just based on, you know, the times that we're living in. It's been really great being flexible and allowing those interviews to happen virtually, and that's been going really, really well. So I'm super excited that you were all able to attend this recruiting event today, and I'm looking forward to seeing all your applications. It's an amazing organization, so I'm looking forward to getting those applications and chatting with you and sharing your information with our team and hopefully bringing you on board. It's a good time to be with Emergent.
Absolutely. I have one more question. Yeah, just based off of some of the results, you know, in one of the polls that came out, it looked like one of the top reasons why you have so many people on the webinar today. One of the top reasons why people were interested in Emergent is your mission. And I've heard a lot from many of you today about that mission and about the culture at Emergent. So perhaps, I don't know who's best to answer this, but I'll put it out there to everybody. What is it in candidates that you look for, and how do you evaluate them, to kind of fit in with that culture and be that mission oriented? It's clearly something that they're thinking about and evaluating you. So perhaps, in the reverse, what is it that you look for in candidates to kind of come in and fit with your culture and mission?
I don't know, Tommy, Joe, do you want to chime in on that? You guys are sort of real time finding the right fits for your team. I can certainly speak from a talent perspective.
Yeah, I think it's knowing oneself a little bit, right? So what you believe in and what you want to bring to this. So we're looking for authenticity, from the ability to want to make changes or to add value, to be innovative, to have each other's backs, right? And how do we help each other from the team members rather than individual people coming in to do their thing. It's really about having, and really that I think BJ mentioned before, the passion, right? This is an area where this is a company that has a lot of opportunity yet still mature, and what you bring to the table has, unlike let's say a huge Merck or whatever, has the ability to actually make changes. So your contributions can affect the entire organization, and that's important. That's important from a self-reward perspective, as well as from your being perspective to what you want, what you believe you want to do with your career. Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I would just add to that, Joe. I think you hit a lot of key points. You have to be able to work in a team. We are a team, and you will work together with people, and you will work together on a mission trying to get us somewhere. And the ability to work within a team, to understand your role, to appreciate the role of others is really key to that success. And without saying, we're in the pharmaceutical industry. We're producing life-saving drugs. Our procedures, our processes, how we do things has to be done exactly right. You have to have a great level of detail. You have to be good at following the procedures that are in place. That is, our contract with the FDA that allows us to produce. So if you can do those things, then you can be very successful in our organization.
Yeah, I think the team has said it so far very well, with Joe and with BJ and Linda, what it is that we're looking for. I don't know that I could add anything that's spontaneous or different, but truly everybody that's here is very passionate about what we do. We're very passionate in helping each other, in helping in our communities. It's something that's really a great place to work. I've never had a day over the course of a little more than a year where I've said, oh, I have to go to work today. That has never happened to me at Emergent. It's new and exciting, and every day is a little bit different. So we're very excited by the number of people who've come in with us today to learn about the company and see really what we have to offer. So definitely encourage you to get out on our website, see the positions we have, because again, we've talked about a couple today that we're looking for, but definitely we have so much to come, and that list is ever changing as to what we're looking for. So please go out and apply where you feel that you're a best fit.
Terrific. Well, if there aren't any other questions coming up, Elizabeth, I think a lot of them are answered. We can wrap up today. I, for one, I appreciate everyone's time. I mean, I think, especially today more than ever, and I can't remember, one of you said this earlier, that that people are evaluating you just like you're evaluating them, exactly who you are, and it's the people that help to make a company's mission possible. And I think that I hope everyone takes away from that today that there's a lot of great people there, and there's a lot of great people that looks like we'll be joining you very soon to be part of that mission. So thank you all for your time. We're happy to be part of sharing that story and sharing all your stories. And as Linda said, we'll be doing some follow-up with everybody to make sure that you're engaged and you have all the information necessary to apply for the right job and the right role and get engaged with the Emergent team. So keep an eye out for some follow-up from us, and be sure to make sure you're checking out the website regularly, as BJ and Joe and several other people had mentioned that they'll be adding jobs regularly and new jobs regularly. So So, make sure you keep Emergent on your radar, and we'll be following up with you very soon.
Looking forward to meeting y'all.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Thanks,
Chris.
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thanks,
Everybody,
everyone.
have a great rest of your day. Take care.
You.